Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Keeling, I am working with Senator Padilla to protect workers from excessive heat. And I hope you're going to commit to working with us to ensure that OSHA issues a final workplace heat stress prevention rule that includes the well-researched, effective requirements of the proposed heat rule. And I hope you're going to work with us, Mr. Keeling, to make sure that gets done for the workers of our country. Ms. Ritchie, last night, President Trump issued a proclamation barring Harvard international students from entering the United States. The proclamation, not even an executive order, is toothless. Any attempt to implement it would be illegal and unconstitutional. This is yet another page from Trump's authoritarian playbook. Over the last 5 months, Trump has demanded Harvard to bow to ideological demands and retaliated when Harvard refused to comply. The administration has terminated over $3.7 billion in grants and contracts to Harvard and its research partners. The administration disqualified Harvard from future federal grants, threatened the school's tax-exempt status, and revoked its ability to issue student visas. The Civil Rights Act requires a clear process before ripping funding away from students, faculty, and staff. In fact, the office that you have been nominated to lead, the Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights, actually has a 32-page manual detailing the process that must be exhausted before any actions are taken. And this process is meant to protect people and institutions from abuses of power by the federal government. It is meant to protect people from losing the education they have dreamed of just because they are an international student, and from having funding for their life's work ripped from them, all because of a president's vendetta against an individual school. So, Ms. Ritchie, if confirmed, do you commit to reversing any funding cuts or other sanctions imposed upon universities that were not afforded due process that they are entitled to under the Constitution and under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act?
Senator, thank you for the question. As I've mentioned previously in this hearing, I cannot speak to current actions that have been taken by the department, specifically by OCR leadership. In my role as a nominee, I simply just don't have information to the basis for the decisions or the reasoning behind the decisions, the case files, the investigatory record. I don't have access to information.
I'm not asking you, I'm asking you the larger question. Will you object to anything that does not afford due process entitled under the Constitution or Title VI of the Civil Rights Act?
Yeah, I referenced that only, Senator, to say that I don't have enough information to commit to that.
I appreciate that. I'm looking for your broader commitment to just upholding the Constitution of the United States. That answer should be a clear and unequivocal yes.
Senator,
that you will uphold the Constitution, that you will uphold Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. That's all we want to hear from you. That is your job.
Senator, thank you. What I can commit to is compliance with the case processing manual, which I've written several times.
No, I'm not getting...
And compliance with OCR's regulations
let me
under
continue
Title
that.
VI.
Ms. Ritchie, yes or no? Do you endorse ripping funding from researchers and students, stealing educational opportunity from international students, abducting students from campuses for asserting their First Amendment rights and continuing to threaten colleges and universities that refuse to comply with lawless demands?
Senator, I will commit to following OCR's regulations and OCR's case processing manual.
Yeah, I'm still not getting the answer that I want because, again, this administration is treating American freedom and dissent as the enemy, and students and faculty and staff are collateral damage To be unwilling and unable to stand against this means that you are silent in the face of authoritarianism, and it unfortunately makes you unqualified for this position of high responsibility. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Rick.